So it seems like the walls are starting to close in for All In With Ari, or if you don't know, her real name is Ronnie Spurr. That's her name. She lived in Arkansas for most of her life, just came out to California in the past year or so. Yeah, and things are not looking too well for all the information's coming out about her extensive criminal history, about the abuse of her child. In this video, I have a new document that is pretty damning evidence as to the physical abuse that she inflicted upon her infant child when he was only 4 months old. Now, I don't think anyone has posted this so far. This is a brand new document that I found, so we'll go over this. But this lady is not who she presents herself at all. She presents herself as a very nice, friendly lady, just living that hippie lifestyle out there on the California coast. And that's not who she is. Now, since my past video, I did a video on her 2 days ago. It's currently at 15,000 views. I don't think I've ever had a video get that many views in such a short period of time. So clearly a lot of people are interested in the whole story with Ari, aka Ronnie. Since that video, she's posted 3 videos. She initially posted 2 videos where she went over her name and she said, "Am I a scammer?" In the "Am I a scammer" video, she basically just said, "No, I'm not a scammer," like 100 times. There's nothing really useful in that video at all. The My Name video, she actually doesn't tell her name. She just admits that Ari is not her birth name, that she changed her name, but she doesn't actually tell her real name, which is Ronnie Spurr, because she doesn't want people to look her up, because if you look up her real name, you can find her extensive criminal history. Now, since then, since my video has basically gone viral about her, she's made a new video just earlier today, a couple hours ago, called Being Exposed, A Day in Santa Monica. And she starts to go into more detail about things that myself and other people exposed in our videos. So in the recent video, she does come clean a lot about her past, about her criminal history, burglary, stuff like that. She does admit that she has a child, which is something she's never talked about anywhere on the channel.
And yeah, there's mug shots out there of me. They're so unflattering. It's not cool. Some people are saying it's because I'm a felon on the run. So not true. I've never been a felon. I'm not a felon. I'm not on the run. I don't have warrants out for my arrest. Those mugshots were from like years ago for, let's see, I think one of them I was driving on a suspended license. Yes, I was arrested also for stealing at Walmart. I'm so not proud of it. It's very embarrassing, but at that point in my life, I was suffering from major depression and anxiety. There's a reason that I wear a wristband. Now, it is to cover up a tattoo for the most part because I've made peace with my scars, but I do have, I don't know if you can see, but I do have like scars. There's my tattoo. It's just a cross, but I don't like it and I plan to get it removed. It's really hard to see because it's been a while. And this is another thing that I'm sure that a lot of people have seen about my child. Yes, I do have a son, and a lot of the things that are being said or presented to the public is false, and I would love to address that topic, but just not right now.
But one thing that's really interesting is she just admits that she has a child. She doesn't admit that she basically abandoned her child in Arkansas. If you don't know, her child is living in Arkansas with the father. She now lives in California and apparently has no contact with them whatsoever. Unless she's incredibly rich and she's flying out to Arkansas every month to visit him, she's no longer in the child's life. The child is currently 9 years old. A 9-year-old needs their mother in their life. And she just decided, you know what, I'm going to start over in California. My son, forget him, the whole past life, it's all about me. I'm living my life in California now. Now, in her video, like I said, she admits that she has a child, but she doesn't cover anything related to the abuse allegations or that she had her child taken away from her. And she does say that she planned on revealing all of this information. Like I said, I don't think that's true. I think the only reason she's talking about it is because my video and other people's videos are going viral about it. Now, what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you a document that is, like I said, it's truly damning. No one else has shown this. There's another channel, Lycan Legion. He has a similar document that he has shown, but the document I'm about to show you, which basically tells you all of the abuse allegations that were put forth that basically she did to her infant child. Her child was 4 months old. 4 months old. And there was physical harm inflicted upon her child. I'm going to show this document. It's not for everyone. It's very disturbing, so if you don't want to see it, now's the time to end the video. And one thing I want to mention, this article that I'm going to show specifically mentions the child's name several times. I have blurred out the child's name, and I know once I show this, other people will find it as well. So I ask anyone else who wants to show this information to people, please block out the child's name if you do show this document. The 9-year-old child did nothing wrong, so the 9-year-old child's name should not be plastered all over the internet. I took the time, I censored it. You need to do the same if you want to show this document as well. Okay, so this is the document right here. It's 3 pages. We'll cover it. Again, I blurred out the child's name. I'll just be referring to the child as Billy. Obviously, that's not his real name. Now, one thing I want to mention, a lot of people have been leaving comments saying, she did nothing wrong. She's just trying to hide her past. There's nothing wrong with that. She didn't lie about anything. And what I'm going to show you in this document that I'm showing you basically shows that she did do something wrong. According to the documents, according to the doctor, according to the child services, she physically abused her child. Or at the very least, she allowed her child to be very physically harmed. Again, there is a similar document other people have shown. This one is new that I'm showing today. So right here at the bottom it says, on February 15th, 2014, the following report was received by the hotline AV. Is 4-month-old Billy. The AO is unknown. Billy lives with his mother, Ronnie Spurr. Billy was brought into Conway Regional Hospital Emergency Hospital. The mother stated that she thought that Billy was having an allergic reaction to something. Billy's right eye was swollen and the right side of his head. The doctor did a CAT scan to check and discovered a skull fracture and a small blood bleed. The mother stated that Billy fell 10 days ago off a mattress on the floor. The child was a little fussy after the incident, but nothing else had occurred until today. The child is currently headed to Children's Hospital in Little Rock Ambulance. So that's the start of the story. We'll go on to the second page. So it says, FSW Latoyna Griffin was informed of SSW Lisa Smith that a call had been made to the Children's Abuse Hotline in regards to an infant with a skull fracture that had been hospitalized at Arkansas Children's Hospital on Saturday, February 15th. It was at that time that FSW Smith contacted the hospital and spoke with the social worker on staff, Tamara Belton. From that conversation, it was decided that the hospital will contact DCFS once the child would be ready for release from the hospital. FSW Griffin was notified at 5:40 p.m. by telephone that Billy was medically ready to be discharged from the hospital. The call came from Tamara, the social worker at Children's Hospital. FSW Griffin arrived at the hospital approximately 8:30 p.m. She was met in the lobby by the social worker. The social worker disclosed that the mother was not aware at this time that DCFS would be taking custody of the child. FSW Griffin was taken to the 4th floor and placed in a room to await the parent. FSW Griffin met Ronnie Spurr, Billy's mother. Ronnie was brought into the room by the social worker. At this time, FSN Griffin explained to Ronnie that the agency would be taking a 72-hour hold on Billy due to the injuries not matching the mother's explanation of how the injury was obtained. Ronnie began to cry, stating that she forgot to tell the doctor that Billy had been on a thin blanket at her grandparents' house while they watched him last week, and maybe he thrashed his head on the hardwood floor. The social worker stated that she did not believe it was possible for Billy to give this injury to himself. Tamara then called the child abuse doctor who examined Billy. Dr. Shellchase put the doctor on speakerphone. Tamara asked the doctor if Billy could have caused this injury by what Ronnie was telling them. The doctor stated the location of the skull fractures on the right side not consistent with a back-and-forth thrashing of a child lying on the floor. The doctor also stated that with the size and the significance of the injury, it is not possible that Billy could have caused this injury to himself. On February 16, 2014 at 10:30 p.m., due to concerns to the safety and well-being of the child, it was felt to be contrary to the welfare of the minor to remain in his mother's custody, and a 72-hour hold was taken by the agency. So there you go. As you can see, basically, the doctor, child services, everyone believed that the injuries were caused by Ronnie. Now, like I said, Ronnie is Ari. She changed her name. But everyone believed that Ronnie was the cause of the injuries. They took a 72-hour hold. They took the child away from her. And the father of the child eventually, filed an emergency order to get custody of the child, which eventually was allowed to happen. So the child is now in the permanent custody of the father. Now, one thing to point out, some people said she moved to California because she can't see her kid anymore. That's not true. You can see in this one right here, it says the guardian agrees to natural mother Ronnie Ann Spurr having visitation supervised by his parents at their home from 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays of each week. So basically, Ronnie still has the ability to see her child. She can only see him for 2 hours a week, and they're all supervised visits. So the court believes that someone needs to watch her when she's with her own child. That's pretty damning evidence, but she does still have the ability to visit her child every single week. Now, obviously, she can't do that if she moves to California. Her child and the father of the child live in Arkansas. She's not traveling every week from California to Arkansas. She just decided, as a, 32, 33-year-old woman, I think she is, I'm going to start over, going to abandon everything, including my kid, move out to California, and just live my best life. Now, like I said, this document that I showed is pretty damning evidence that she mistreated her child. Whether that was intentional or accidental, I really don't know. You can make your own assumptions as to that. I'm sure you will in the comment section, but I really don't know. But she has not addressed that at all, And I truly believe that she only addressed some of the issues because they came out. I really don't think she was ever going to bring this up. She brought up the fact that, yes, she has a child, but she hasn't mentioned at all that she mistreated her child. Her child was taken away by, child services because they believed that she harmed her 4-month-old child. Wasn't even a year old, 4-month-old, and the kid had a skull fracture. So that's pretty damning evidence. Now, like I said, there's been plenty of people leaving comments being like, she didn't do anything wrong. Clearly, I showed you that whether it was intentional or accidental, she did not, care for her child as a mother should. And now she has moved away and no longer wants to apparently see her child at all. So clearly she's done a lot wrong. Like, this is not the type of person that people should be admiring on the internet. It's not the type of person that people should be sending hundreds and thousands of dollars, which is happening. She has her, PayPal account. She has Venmo. She has Patreon. Now, her Patreon subscribers are actually going down, which is a good thing. But this is not the type of person that should be getting tons of admiration and free money from people who want to help out a girl who's in a bad situation. She's not in a bad situation. She's not homeless. She chose to live in her car. She chose to run away from her obligations as a mother, which she is. So I don't know why people continue to support this type of behavior. But I'd love to hear your comments down below. Let me know what you think about that. And again, if anyone else wants to see that document, if anyone else decides to share that document, like I said, please blur out the child's name. The child did nothing wrong, so their name should not be plastered all over the internet. This is just about Ari, aka Ronnie Spurr, and the issues that she is bringing upon herself.